We Are Bears by Molly Grooms and Lucia Garnata. There's lots of bears, all different kinds of bears and colors of bears and faces of bears. We are bears. Nip, nip. Mother Bear awoke to 2 sharp nips on her big furry ears. Every morning, growling fiercely, her 2 cubs tugged and pulled at her to wake her. She sighed, then huffed, playfully giving in, and her cubs squealed with joy and excitement. "Will we finally go outside the den today?" "Yes," she said as she led them out of the den for the very first time. "This new world looks so big," the smaller cub said, a tiny bit scared as he peeked outside. "Yes, it is," Mother Bear agreed, gently pushing the cubs forward with her nose. The cubs blinked in the bright daylight, trying to see all the new colors and hear all the new sounds. The cubs were a little clumsy, but they padded forward on their soft paws. They sniffed everything, the rocks and the trees and the grass and the flowers. There were 1,000 new smells for their noses. Suddenly, Mother Bear stood on her hind legs, staring into the nearby underbrush. She sniffed the wind and then snorted very loudly. Without even thinking, the cub scampered up a tall tree and looked down at her from the safety of a crooked limb. Mother Bear stayed still for a moment, and the cubs were completely silent. Then Mother Bear relaxed and looked up at her cubs. "Good job, my little ones. Although there is no danger this time, you will always need to react quickly to my warnings." Everything beneath them seemed small and far away. A bird landed near them and then, startled to see bears in a tree, flew away. Mother Bear said, "And now you see that, while we cannot fly, bears can reach high and safe places. When you are far from the den and need a place to hide, you will always have the trees. We are climbers." Once they were back on the ground, the smaller cub followed a caterpillar. Then the larger cub found a soft mushroom. "May we eat it, Mother?" the cubs begged. "Trust in your senses. What do your nose say?" Mother Bear asked. "It smells bad. Our noses say to stay away," the cubs squealed loudly. Mother Bear nodded and said, "If you had eaten it, that mushroom would have made you very sick. Always trust your nose. Now, let's see if you can find us something good to eat." "May we try some honey?" the little cubs begged. "You must be very careful because bees can hurt even big bears like us," Mother Bear warned. But the 2 cubs were already clambering up the tree to stick their paws into the hive. The smaller bear poked his nose into the tree hole and came out with a face full of honey. You see the drips there? Oh, but there's a bee on his nose. It's different than Mother's milk. We like it," said the cubs. The nearby buzzing was getting louder and louder. Bzzz. Suddenly, the larger cub howled, "Ow!" He covered his tender ears and quickly scrambled down the tree. "Follow me," the Mother Bear growled and began to run through the forest. The cubs ran at her heels as fast as they could, all the way to the lake. Mother Bear plunged into the cool water and began paddling toward the far side. The little cubs hesitated at the edge, but even louder buzzing and another "ow" made them jump in to get away from the bees. "Oh, Mother, where are we?" they wondered. "This is the lake. It provides us with many foods and lots of fun. And now that you have crossed it, we know that you can swim. That is what bears do. We are swimmers." By the time they reached the other side of the table, the bees had given up and were gone. Mother Bear shook herself while her cubs played in the water. "We are still so very hungry," the little cub called out to her. "Well then, we will just have to find something to eat that can't hurt us." Mother Bear said. The cubs followed her along the shore, and they watched carefully. She uprooted cattails and other reeds and showed the cubs the juicy roots. They nibbled at them, but the strange new food was not as good as the milk they were used to. Soon you will love these new foods. Every bear is born with 4 big paws, and you will learn to dig up the best part of roots and reeds to fill your hungry bellies. That is what bears do. We are diggers. Then Mother Bear led her family back to the cozy den. The cubs were very glad to see it once again. She nuzzled and warmed her cubs snug against her. I am so proud of you. You are very good bears, and you have learned so much today. But there is much more to learn, and tomorrow we will begin again, she said softly, as she lovingly licked each cub, because that is what mother bears do. We are teachers. Mother Bear nursed her cubs until they were full and happy. Such a big day for such big cubs, Mother Bear said. The best thing you can do now to grow even bigger and stronger is to sleep. That is what bears do. We are sleepers. We are climbers, we are searchers, we are swimmers, we are diggers, we are teachers, we are sleepers. We are bears. And the final picture is all the different bears. We are bears at Pecan Creek Elementary. The end.